Alright guys, here we are, finally with some Hollow Knight Silksong news, new information that just dropped a couple days ago. And it's crazy because they dropped the blog post on Twitter and I clicked the notification as soon as it came on my phone and the link was already crashed because of how many people wanted information about this game. So basically with these news type videos, what I like to do is I read through the news here and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on stuff as it comes up. So if you want to read the article on your own, there'll be a link to that in the description below. But with all that out of the way, let's get into this because it's pretty cool. So first they say here, happy holidays gang. With Christmas close and Team Cherry about to take a few days off after an intensive year's development, we're going to try and keep this update as snap sharp as we can. Silksong development progress. Right up front, we're still building this very large game. Our desire to keep building and building and building sure hasn't diminished, but our timelines have stretched a bit both to account for all that exciting new stuff and to tie up everything else. Okay, so already right here, what I want to point out, my last Hollow Knight video that I did, I talked about the release date, and a lot of people had opinions on that because apparently in Nintendo's financial briefing or report to their shareholders and everything, they had a little like image there showing like what games they wanted to release within their fiscal year, and Silksong was on there. Now, Nintendo's fiscal year runs through the end of March, so March 31st of 2020. So a lot of people kept saying that my prediction was wrong because I actually predicted it was going to be coming out around E3 next year, so around June. And anyway, long story short, the point here I'm trying to make is that just because Nintendo shared that in their briefing doesn't mean that's set in stone. Because if it was already set in stone, we would know that date then, or at least would know like spring 2020 or something, but we don't. Nintendo was only showing that to their investors just so that they knew possibly when games were going to be dropping. So the point here is that Team Cherry right here is saying our timelines have stretched a bit both to account for all that exciting new stuff and to tie up everything else. Our timelines have stretched a bit. So that to me is them kind of saying that they're going to be releasing it a little bit later than they anticipated or they expected. So I really still think that we're looking at a game that's going to be coming out probably more in the lines of next summer. Again, I don't think that's bad news. It sounds like the game is getting bigger and bigger by the day, so it's going to be really exciting. But anyway, let's keep reading into this. So, as a small progress tease, you may remember for Silksong we promised over 150 all-new enemies. To us that always seemed a conservative estimate, and it turns out we were right. Here are just a few foes that came to life this week. Enemy number 163, 164, and 165. So that's pretty cool. They're already well over 150 enemies. But here we go. So there's 3 new enemies here. It's weird. I don't know if these are just like these guys on the left and right. Are those just silhouettes, or is that actually what they look like? I'm not sure exactly. And this guy in the middle here, I feel like we might have seen him in the trailer or maybe the E3 treehouse when they were playing it. But yeah, I mean, these guys look cool. Definitely this guy in the middle here looks like he fits into the world of Silksong. Looks kind of like the Forge daughter a little bit here, and he also has his sort of like needle, I guess you want to call it, or something like that. But anyway, they go on to say here, though their names shall remain a mystery, we can say they're members of a scholarly suite, former tenders of a dusty vault full of ancient knowledge. This is a tough later game trio who, when in battle, work closely together, covering for each other's weaknesses. So that's really interesting. So if it's later in the game, we probably actually haven't seen this yet then in any gameplay or anything, but it sounds like these guys are going to kind of work in tandem, so that'll be cool. Probably be maybe like a boss or something. And as some assurance, we're not just randomly building things without an end in sight. We know how the story unfolds, and as much as we add, our intent is always to evoke the feeling of exploring a vast, surprising new world, one that matches or exceeds the scale and diversity of the original game. We can't wait to one day talk about all the wild evolutions in this new world that have taken place behind the scenes, but that day will have to wait until after the game is out and in your hands. Okay, so I feel like here what they're maybe saying is we possibly might not really get another update now until the game actually releases, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. So this year we had the initial reveal trailer in February. We had a brief blog post update, I think shortly after that in April or something like that, that gave us a little bit more information. Then at E3 we got the gameplay at the Treehouse event. Following E3 they had another little blog post update, and then now we have this here. So yeah, we might not hear any more until the game's actually out, but I feel like they would also drop another trailer or something in Nintendo's Direct. I know we just had that indie presentation this past week, but Hollow Knight was shown in like their main directs, not really their indie ones, so I think it makes sense that it wasn't actually there. It's okay. I think if Nintendo plans to have a direct in, January or February, I think Silksong might show, and it maybe not even be new gameplay, but at least maybe they'll say like, oh, summer 2020 or something. But other than that, that might be it. So the next piece of the article goes a little bit into the soundtrack. So let's talk music. Hollow Knight Silksong sees Christopher Larkin returning once more with a full suite of moody and memorable tracks. Aligning with the game's focus on Hornet, her needle and her thread, Silksong's score sees a particular focus on strings. Today Chris is generously releasing 2 tracks of the upcoming album, Lace, the intense battle theme from one of Hornet's main rivals, and Bone Bottom, the somber score for Silksong's starting town. Consider it a Christmas tease. So let's actually listen to these a little bit here. Just a few seconds. Yeah, I really like that. That sounds a lot similar to the trailer that we got. It sounds similar with like those fast strings and stuff. I really like. Now this is he said the starting town theme. This is good. It's funny because that reminds me a lot of Dirtmouth, which was also the starting area in Hollow Knight, so that's really cool. I'm getting those same kind of vibes. I really like the music here. I'm really excited for it. So they go a little bit further on here to say, to date, Silksong's complete score is sitting at about 30 stunning tracks, with several still to come. That's already a step above Hollow Knight's 26 tracks and is a combination of Farloom's many varied locations, more unique boss themes, and Chris's own desire to one-up his achievements with the first game. Expect the full Hollow Knight Silksong original soundtrack to release at the same time as the game. Jump over to the following to see the above samples alongside Chris's other work. Yeah, so you can listen to these on Bandcamp, the full songs. So for Silksong updates, that's actually really it. They do show a little fan art here, some merch. Also, actually, this is cool. I do want to mention this. So they actually, for those of you who are interested in the music, like myself, they actually are releasing the sheet music, or they just released a sheet music for Hollow Knight here, the Hollow Knight piano collections. So you can get those and play the tracks yourself. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, so that's it for the Silksong news. I actually got quite a bit here. So what we need to leave from this is, again, that Silksong's probably not coming more towards next summer-ish. It really sounds like they're working hard on it, and the game's getting bigger and bigger by the day. They're already talking about delaying it from when they originally thought. But the game is still looking good from what we've seen so far. I'm so excited for it. I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. For those of you who watch the Video Game Awards, they showed a game called Gleamlight, which looked really cool and also really similar to Hollow Knight, which I thought was interesting. I'm curious what you guys think about that as well. Not saying that as a bad thing, it immediately caught my eye and I was like, huh, this looks cool. It looks similar to Hollow Knight. I'm curious how they're going to take the game. Is it going to be a similar playstyle and that kind of stuff? So I'm just curious what you guys have to think about that. And yeah, that's it. So see you in the next one.